spice. Spice. Island spice.
Niki Mauna Kea, oh, I hear la wenwa, Ukia like Kalani Kapaway, oh, Alahia, like no, Nalo Kaipua, Kalaula Maukao, Nai Pai Kale, oh, Heavenly, Kaya Maye.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like I'm at a counter selling surfboards. That's what I do.
Yeah, you're good at it too, and you make the best. So, aloha, guys. Welcome back. I'm Spice. Another episode of Talk Story with Spice, and today, a little different. We're not in the medicine lab. We are in the foam carving lab with someone that I hold very special to my heart. Great friend. He's like a second dad to me. He's family. An amazing all-around person, and most importantly, my board shaper. So, everyone, I want to introduce Mr. Pat Rawson. Yeah, so
there you go.
Super solid. We go way back, great stories, and it's happened. We're here. It's great to have you on the show.
We've talked about it for a while.
Yeah, we've talked about it for a while. I wish I could have had you in the lab, but not that this isn't cool.
Yeah,
the labs,
you've
got, well, in the medicine lab, you've got all these jars with just medicines from all over the world. It kind of talks to you. Different energy, but you'll make it over. And we'll do another show.
I don't know how many boards got shaped. People walk in here and they go, oh, this room's got an energy thing.
It has.
Because I made this, when I did our remodel, I did everything in concrete with the idea that this would be my shaping room, and it'd be my last shaping room until I died. So yeah. I don't know how many boards I've done in here. Probably at least 40,000 boards.
40,000 boards? Wow.
35, 40,
So, on top, like, when did it all begin?
Well, I mean, it started back in California. I'm from a place called Playa del Rey, which is right in front of the Los Angeles airport. There's two runways, jets going all day long. Well, we were in the middle. So I started surfing in 61 and then shaping in 1966. I was an early bird.
Wow. So when you were surfing, did you ever compete at all?
Like, I did WSA, and we had USSA. I mean, I was never a very good competitor. I'm terrible at competition. I'm just more of a creative guy and not necessarily a guy that has to be the first guy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have that in me. So it was more of just making a lot of boards, and I got really good at it pretty early on because I had great teachers. Teachers are everything.
Yeah. So like, what made you just wrap your head around it? Like, hey, I want to shape boards, and who was the inspiration for that? And I'm sure, like down the road, like you guys bounce off each other and learn trade secrets, and there's more than one inspiration.
Yeah. We have a really creative neighborhood. There was like Mike Doyle used to shape. At that time, he was one of the biggest surfers in the world and super low key, no ego. He just passed away about 6 months ago. I was really bummed. But anyway, our next door neighbors were good surfers across the street.
Yeah.
And he would go there, and the dad was real cool, and he'd shape surfboards. They'd just put the racks and have the lights hanging down and stuff. And I just remember in 64 hearing this, what's going on? So I had my little red skateboard. I went down my hill across the street and came up, and I just sat on the wall for a while. And I saw what they were doing. The door was wide open. Nobody complained in those days. Those jets were taking off. I was just watching, like totally entranced. Like, wow, I think I could do this. But I was already surfing. I kind of had a okay thing for being. At that time, I would have been 8 or 9. And no, I would have been 10.
Wow.
In 64, and then by 66, I was 12, and I was ready now. I was in wood shop at
Were
school.
you carving boards at 12?
Well, we'd take the boards and we'd stick them on the end, and with beautiful longboards. I wish I had all of them now. I'd be a millionaire.
It wasn't foam then, it was all wood at that
No,
time?
no. This is 66 was just vintage, really good longboards. Some of the best longboards ever made were in that 66, 67. Then they started cutting the tail off and putting V in, and that was like kind of the first short boards. They called them V bottoms.
How long were those generally when they started?
I'd say the first ones, maybe like the average size in 67 might have been a 9 foot to 9'6", and then they were starting to get lighter and definitely a lot shorter. So that same might have gone down to 8'6", 9'0".
Yeah.
And then finally all hell went pretty much broke loose. By 68, 69, we were making boards that were like, some guys were riding 5 foot boards.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big change.
That was still single fin at that time?
Everything was single fin, and then twin fins came along in 71 in the way of fishes.
Yeah.
Which I got really into because it worked good for my surfing style. And where we lived, the surf would get really good, but most of the time it wasn't. So a fish you can get in early and just, down the line, do airs. And so we were doing all kinds of shit.
Softer waves, you can still milk it.
They were really kind of crude by today's standards. The fishes that people make are really beautiful, but they worked really good. So that was my Del Rey thing. And then I basically graduated from high school. They bought our property. I needed out of there, and I didn't want to go anywhere else but Hawaii. So I did the UH thing. And
had you been to Hawaii before that, or you just like?
I had kind of a trial one run, and I decided this is where I was going to go, and I started doing my homework. I should have gotten my driver's license or something in Hawaii because I didn't have residency. So when I moved over, I had to wait like a year. But I couldn't afford it. I just
for the schooling.
Yeah, so I waited.
You went to University of Hawaii? You went UH?
I started off at Leeward.
Oh, right on.
So it was basically business, which a lot of people don't know about me, and then music, which a lot of people don't know about me. I was supposed to be a musician.
You always been concentrated here on the North Shore, where you're kind of where at?
Yeah, now? Sunset Beach.
I just called you. It was home from the get-go. It sounds like.
I mean, I lived in Waihiwa, I think, a little bit, and then the summer months, I still went to school. I loved the stage band at UH, so I can remember 72, 73, just incredibly great surf.
Yeah.
And then the afternoon, I'd just hit the bus, and I had a car, a little Honda. Those little tiny Honda cars, I bought one way back before gas went up. Because gas was like 15 cents a gallon. They were giving those cars away.
God.
20 cents a gallon. And then,
is it $5 now?
Yeah, and then so they had that big oil thing and all that shit happen. And finally, like, gas was like $2 a gallon, and people were freaking because it went up 10 times. And there was gas lines. I can remember in Haleiwa, they had even an odd. If you had an odd number on your gas, on your license plate, I think it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think Sunday was anything goes. And you had to wait in line, sometimes 2 hours to get gas.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, we live in America.
But it was a luxury at that time, yeah.
No, but when people panic in America, we really panic in Hawaii. So that a lot of it was people just getting more than they needed. I mean, it's a small place, and it is a little scary. We're in the middle of nowhere, basically,
Yeah.
So it is.
So
it is what it is.
Your time frame changed here on the North Shore? I mean, obviously a lot. Was it crowded when you came, surf-wise?
No, when I came, it was different. There was no surf leashes, and people that were local people. I mean, Hollies would get beaten up. I had a couple really good friends. I was very Hanai, meaning adopted, and I never abused it. I grew up in somewhat of a mixed, back in California, mixed group from football. So I had a lot of black friends, I had a lot of Hispanic friends, and to me, Hawaii was just like perfect. The locals were so, look at me, and it was no bullshit. Oh yeah, I love you, Spice, and then they go and they get the knife out. Like other places that I don't want to mention.
No, Hawaiians are solid.
I like how solid, and it's still that way. It's just our poor Hawaiians are just getting pushed out of the box, man.
But they're making a rise right now. I think it's good. I think they're starting.
I think Mauna Kea is a very important thing. It's showing what our
Mauna Kea, guys, is it let the world know the Hawaiians are definitely still here. They didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not a Hawaiian wannabe, but I love my Hawaiian friends, and it's time we stand up for them, and they stand up.
Close to my heart.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, Mauna Kea, they got thrown so under the bus with their politicians, and I'm not a politician basher either, but I'm sorry, it was wrong, and it's not gonna get fixed.
I think there's a positive turning point for them, and I'm not for the TMT, and I respect their views with the mountain. Like, I spent time with I've been in Hawaii a long time, but when I was in Australia, I lived in a termite mountain with some Aborigines, and
Alice Springs.
I don't know where we were.
In the middle,
deep,
or just in the bush, away from the ocean.
Deep, deep, kind of away from the ocean. At least 8, 10, 12, 16 plus hours, inland.
Well, maybe you're at Alice Springs. So that's where most of the Aboriginals, they kind of push them into that area for some reason.
Yeah. So anyway, if I wanted to go and explore, and there was even a small hill or mountain, I had to hold the hand of an elder, out of respect, because they're like, you don't walk on your mother, do you? And I'm like, of course not. And so you don't walk on our mother. I'm like, no problem. I respected that. And, as the Hawaiians look at Mauna Kea as obviously sacred. And,
of course.
And so you've got to give that to them and show them that respect. And show them
I think they should get something. I mean,
but the language is coming back. They are such a powerful, beautiful, amazing culture with their spirituality, with their craft, with their knowledge of their A'upua system of living in harmony from Malka to Makai, from mountain to ocean, with the sea and the land, and how to work it right and to be in harmony with it and with each other. So the world can benefit from aloha. Everyone can. Only so many will benefit from the telescope. And so, I'm not bashing.
I'm glad you feel like I do, because the thing is, all the traveling I had 12, maybe 15 killer years. From the quote unquote king of the 80s to just, I cruised it up to about 94, 95, but I started really traveling heavily in 91.
Yeah.
And the reason I did it, I needed a bigger world. And I realized, because we don't get off island that much here, when you get away, you realize how special the culture is here. Aloha, I used to get mad when people would slow down because somebody's on the side of the road was trying, but that's aloha, as long as everybody's on the same page and you're not tailgating and smash that car.
Back in the day, you could pull up and we could just sit there and talk story, and people go around you. Now it's gotten a little chaotic.
You get tickets for that.
Yeah, now you get tickets, and the whole world's honking at you. So,
Well, I don't know. Maui's so different. I mean, that's why I didn't want you to come here going the Haleiwa bound way, because you'd probably be arriving right now. Seriously, it's that bad.
It's still beautiful though. It's still beautiful.
Yeah, you can head home, and if you go home at around 4:30 or something, or 5, whatever it ends up being, you probably won't hit too much if you go that way and you want to go visit your friends. But we have growth problems here, big ones.
Yeah. So on shaping, at what point in your shape, how long did it take for it to just kind of click? Where you felt like you had a confidence with your shaping? I mean, was it years? Did it seem like it clicked in right away?
I mean, it does take years, but I think after my first 5,000 boards, because I really did a lot of boards young. I was a glosser, which was the guy that put these pin lines. These pin lines they used to be taped off in the old days for decoration, and I did all the lightning bolts back in the early 70s and stuff. I'm glad I learned that trade. Because I came here, they didn't need another shaper from California. I mean, it was so tight, and there was no Japanese market, nothing. But those first 4,000 or 5,000 boards, you just figure out your tools, you figure out the blanks, you figure out you. I can do 5 boards a day and they're perfect. If I do 6, and you just figure all that stuff out. And it does take a while. And back then we couldn't make enough boards. I mean, from 66 on, it was just a rocket launch until about 2005. And it had largely to do with my generation, which is maybe somebody might be 60 at the very, very last part, to somebody it might be 75 or even 80 now. That was the big wedge of baby boomers.
Yeah.
And when they invented the hula hoop and all that shit, people made billions of dollars because of our age group. And Grubby, Mr. Clark, he knew all that stuff. He was a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
He's a big part of this whole, how it did what it did. And
I had a Zane Schweitzer on a show, and his grandfather basically invented windsurfing. You could say it was the pivoting piece. It was his grandfather, and so it was what a crew to hang with. So it was his grandfather. It was Grubby Clark. It was Tom Morey, and there was one other person that was, I think it was Hobie. Was it Tom Hobie?
Pretty interesting group.
That's a group right there,
Yeah,
and I know you're good friends with Grubby. Yeah,
I went up. Ryan and I went up and saw him. Not this year, but back in 17. stayed in his ranch and hung out and stuff. And he drove us around in his Ford Raptor, like going off the cliffs and stuff. He's crazy, but his whole thing was always about. He would always take notes, and everybody that worked for him would take notes on how to streamline and perfect. Because foam is really hard to make. And when he went down, the company I worked with was a lot of the ex-employees of Clark Foam, and we had probably the greatest chance of success. And then they had an Australian company that came in, and then Walker was trying to do it. Yeah, it's tough shit. So when we had some horrible blanks in 2005.
Yeah, I know it was a lot of experimental. The stringers. I've heard it all. All kinds.
Yeah, we got access to Gordon's
Is he completely done with?
He doesn't have anything to do with surfboards, but he's a rancher. He does real well.
No, it's great.
He's happy. So he's 84. I got a couple pictures of me sitting in. He sat in his car with the air conditioning on for like almost 2 hours. And my son and another friend that came, that actually is Jerry Lopez's classmate, they're out playing with the dogs. And Ryan knew that he wanted to speak. We just haven't talked since all this shit happened.
Yeah.
It's interesting to get his perspective, but the most important thing to realize is our age group was a real important age group for surfboards to be.
These guys gave it a whole different life to bloom and to blossom.
Yeah, it was just a craft before that.
Where would you like to see boards going, like the materials and stuff like that? Because I know now that they've had success with the foam that can be broken down, like by worms or something like that, can eat it into. Just basically recycle it into nothing, so that
would be good.
Not leaving a footprint.
I say good luck, because guys complain about $600 and $700 boards. Anything that, and I'm saying this, I'm not an enemy of having completely friendly materials, but everything we make surfboards with, and the EPS, this is polyurethane here. This is actually a better score than the EPS. Just doesn't break down. They're like the little coffee cups, and you see all those little balls breaking. They don't go away.
Wow.
And if you burn it, it's really super toxic. So it's kind of like we're making these beautiful things. I mean, I'm an artist, and I make boards that are art, and sometimes they're for craft, for big waves. And
I mean, they're blessing us all, And
yeah, I mean,
I did come up with the idea, and I'm sure others have thought about it, especially SHAPER. So imagine like a sawmill, and you've got all the wood dust everywhere. Mm-hmm. What if you just took molds and compressed that, and then glassed that in somehow?
You mean compress the wood shavings?
Yeah.
Like
to have it as like a foam core.
I don't have hardly any trash. That way I maybe have a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get it all over you.
But like if you had a huge sawmill, and then they were, just got to be just piles and piles of sawdust. What if it was somehow compressed, where it was still light, as though it was a complete wood blank, and it's recycled, and then I don't know, are they using a resin and a glass now and cloth?
They have
environmentally friendlier.
I mean, I really like making epoxy boards. I like putting all the weight in the skin.
Yeah,
and it's like a hollow surfboard, and I know how to make them, so I can make them for Jaws. I'm not going to mention any names because I protect the people that trust me, and some of them get paid from somebody else. But I've always been that guy with like Tom Carroll, Tom Curran. I can talk about them now because we're going to do models together. We want to do that.
Yeah.
Current I don't know about, but I just talked to Bertelman, and I like doing things with people. I love synergy. So that was the other side, is I got pretty good at doing all this stuff. I have good hands, big hands, and I got to still play my music. So everything I do.
Phenomenal musician, guys. I was pretty blown away.
I wouldn't say phenomenal, but I'm capable, and I get called a lot because I do my homework. I have really, really good equipment.
And it's something you love to do. That's great.
Well, I mean, shaping.
It kind of sets you free.
You can only fake. There's a lot of guys that are really good. They got amazing websites for their boards and stuff, but they never even shaped a board off the blank.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a computer shape. I'm at 65. Okay. I can only do so much.
That's great, doesn't he? Huh? What's that?
I'm getting there.
No,
I can't see very good. I got to put my Elmer Fudd glasses on, but I'm hanging good, and I can surf again, which is why I wanted to lose weight. Yeah. And my hip's getting stronger now, so I think.
When's the last time you surfed?
Well, I paddled out the other day, and see these?
Yeah.
I have these bumps here from all the surfing I did. I haven't surfed in 10 years because of my hip.
Yeah. I'd
go out and catch a wave, and I get like electric shot. I'd be like, like somebody just hit me with 240, right? And then I'd go, and it would hurt for like 3 days, and I said, I just said, I'm not going to do this until I can figure it out. And all it was is all the muscles they cut, because they didn't do a replacement, they did a resurfacing, which means they chicken boned my leg out, my scar. It's like a shark bit me. It's big. You know, they cut a lot of muscle.
Wow.
So I'm still really stiff, but you know, I can surf now, and I'm getting
if we
there.
don't surf this round while I'm back on island,
You'll definitely have me next
yeah,
time. I'm trying to get one of those vests.
Here.
I'm trying to get one of those vests that have the padding. They have it padded right here. I saw one on Amazon. It's not even from
a jet ski vest, yeah.
Yeah, something like a jet ski vest. It's just
not like the ones they use at Jaws. There's one that's just padded and stuff like that. I'm sure there's something out there.
Oh no, they got it. And so, you know, I'm just doing longboards for a while, but I got my own private break. I won't talk where it is and stuff, but I have my own place I can go surfing either by myself, which I used to like to do, or just with good friends.
Yeah.
There's just 3 of us out there. You go to yards, there'll be 112 guys out. VLAN's no problem. I like the kids out there, really cool.
Yeah.
Because they just know who I am, and everybody's cool. I don't go out there and try to catch every wave, every set, you know.
Yeah, we all love that little nugget, you know.
Well, you got Lahaina to deal with. I mean, surfing is an important sport because it really, to do it right, you got to connect this, and you got to connect this, our bodies.
And then you got to connect
and then there's a spirituality in surfing.
You know, you got to connect your surrounding, which is the ocean, and learn to dance with it. That's the spiritual side. You know, yeah, you got to learn to dance.
So, how many sports? I mean, I think snowboarding probably has something like that going for it. Like I know it. Which
I'm still wanting to get. Guys, I've been trying to get him on a mountain for like 5, 6, 7 years now.
Well, I have a friend that I stay with, and she's actually
first year you'll get your ass handed to you, but then after that you'll be loving it. It's like doing a floater for 10 minutes with nobody dropping in on you.
Well, sort of my little crowd in San Diego that I hang out with, one of the persons that I stay with, she's really a good snowboarder. She just grew up with it. And then the guy that I work with over there is Chris Christensen. He has his own snowboard line.
Does he? I didn't know that.
He's a pro level guy.
He shapes guns, like big guns. Yeah, guns, yeah.
He's doing what I was doing now. He's 46. I'm basically 19 years older.
Did he live here on the North Shore before?
He comes here.
Okay. I might have met him. I'm not sure.
I'm enjoying this extension of my business because, you know, my son, Ryan, some of you guys that surf know Ryan, and then my granddaughter, who's 17, they're helping me a lot with social media, marketing, stuff I just can't do it. I can't do myself, you know, and I talk to the older guys I grew up with. Now they're all dying, but you won't find too many of them that could sit up and do a video, and I'm fine with that. I mean, I think people want to know the story.
Yeah. I can't wait to meet Ryan. I spoke with Ryan many times on the phone, but I can't wait till the day we're like, what up, you know, in person.
Yeah, when you guys meet, you're very similar. He's very much on the same program.
He's great. With the board thing, was it originally Rawson Surfboards, or do you have other names?
No, I mean, I worked for Rig Surfboards. My former job, Dewey Weber, was more just to watch the people that I wanted to watch. The manager there was my next door neighbor, an incredibly guy named Tom Oberlin.
Yeah.
Which later, he was the guy that really taught me what to shape. And then I learned from like Phil Becker, Mike Eaton, Dan Bendix, and I was South Bay. So Rick Surfboards, Bing Surfboards. So I watched those guys.
Wow.
And those guys could shape 25 boards a day. Not a week, 25 a day.
A day?
Yeah. I was expected to shape 15 to 20 a day when I had my job, which was Wilkins Surfboards, which we didn't have to do that. So I would just work a couple of days, but I could shape 10 or 12.
Wow.
You know, but the other jobs in South Bay, if you wanted to work, you got paid like maybe $8 a board.
Yeah.
But you do like 15, 20 boards a day. That was a lot of money back in like late 60s.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was like just add 10 to that.
Didn't you get some time with Brewer?
Well, that was more here when I moved here. Because I was a pinline and gloss guy. Like I said, nobody, as nice as I was, or I wasn't a great surfer, but I was a good surfer. Nobody really knew I made boards except the people around me, because they always looked at, they see my little signature and they go, wow, you should be making more boards. Well, maybe. But anyway, so Brewer was real instrumental because he saw my boards, but you know, I did pin lines with all the guys out here. And Dick was just like, when we shared a room, I mean, I had so many great questions for him and he just had so many great answers.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot what to do, and I say it with love because, you know, he's getting old and stuff now, and they're going to honor him, I think, on the 19th of October.
Really?
The thing that Mike Hinson,
Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
awesome.
Mike Hinson picked me. I don't know why he didn't get picked before. I would have picked him in a heartbeat, but I thought he was already grounded into that thing.
Yeah, I thought so. I would like right now. I thought he was already there.
Well, he's 82, you know, and he's still building boards on Kauai and stuff. And he's
when did it become Rawson, and when did you slowly feel comfortable enough to just?
Well, I was Rawson then, but just no logos, and really until about 1980 or 79. I started with Rob Burns. I was his first I want to say I was his first shaper. We actually had Jim Richardson, but he only did like 5 boards. Jim called me and says, "You should go meet Rob Burns. He needs a shaper. You're totally good enough." And his company's called Locomotion. That was in 77, 78.
My Hanai family introduced me to them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm from Big Island, and so.
Oh, cool.
They
Rob's still a good friend.
He introduced me to Uncle Buttons. I still hold a lot of love for Buttons. Buttons was great. He was
spirits around.
Yeah.
He used to come in this room. Wow, it's really soundproof. He was just always a kid, even at 40.
Through all Buttons went through, like I always tripped. He's an island boy. Like
totally. Man. He had so much good karma about him.
No matter the stuff he went through, like every time we connect, like he would drag me through like 5-star hotels, just barefoot trunks, surfboard, and I was just sitting here going, "Whoa!" And he was just like a little island boy kid, period. And obviously, his surfing.
He was a really big help. Both Mark Lydell was really the kind of the scientist, and Buttons, you could put him on. I could put him on a piece of plywood, and he could look. So we used. I say we used. Everybody used Buttons for something. Nobody like Rob took care of him. And that's why he stayed with Locomotion for a long time, because he was just one of these half Hawaiian and half black. Yeah, and either like we're just mesmerized by it's funny, so funny when he's surfing or anything. Man, he could make anybody laugh. Yeah, he's just a good, beautiful, spirited human being. Period. And the surfing, I mean, that's how we built Locomotion, was really Mark and Buttons. And we had a lot of good guys in the 80s. I had a great team, but it started really with them in 78, and we just kept going. We didn't look back. Yeah. And you had, I know you're tight with Tom Carroll. I mean, yeah, that was a different type of thing, because I already had this Hawaiian thing just going off, and then Tom came along after Mark Richards, and that kind of just went. The angle was like this, and all of a sudden it went ting, and I was like, okay. Was Mark Richards riding Rawson's? Well, yeah. So what happened is we got going in 83, 84. He just finished his world title thing, and he was 4-time. And another friend of mine, Bernie Baker, was really good friends, and I knew him from Chun's, because I had a beach house at Chun's. I always liked Mark. He was like one of the most super down to earth. Yeah, never very professional. I mean, no drugs, nothing. He just like chocolate. I always say that, but anyway, I just remember he had a twin fin. It was just an amazing. Like I looked at him, wow, that looks good, and I was riding a fish. So he looked at mine. He goes, "Well, I don't know. I didn't want to try his. I don't want to fuck it up or do something, But he was just that was right in his prime. Yeah, and his fish was amazing. And this is before, kind of as he was finishing up world title. I mean, because the fish thing. I mean, the twin fin thing started in 77, 78. Yeah. Well, then Tom brought in that just not even the next level, just a different level of the power surfing, and then kind of longer boards with that, signature under the hood Cadillac snap like he did at Pipe. Tom was always about, like, he's a little guy, like he comes to me like this, but he's got so much heart. His passion is just so strong, and it comes out in his surfing. I don't remember him ever having any. Like even with Derek Ho and some of the guys they were really going for the title, and he was always good with the Hawaiians. Hawaiians appreciated Tom's Hawaiian spirit, passion. I met him once through Kelly, and he was very sincere. We saw a lot of his really nice person. Yeah. So are you doing right now the TC's formal? We've been doing about 4 years, and kind of like I don't give away free boards. This thing is this business is so like every penny counts. So the Tom Kern model you have specific with Rawson surfboards is it? Yeah. Well, I want to talk to Tom more about that. That's a little like we talked about it before. Tom has to come around on his own, because he's had bad experiences with everybody. Tom Kern is the quietest man. Everybody misjudges that quiet, like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's super smart. He's really intuitive. Yeah. And he just watches. He's just checking it out. And then he goes out in the water and just kills it. So both TCs are totally different kind of guys, because Tom Carroll is, he's very passionate and get right up. And Tom will get it out, but, he's just very like his dad. He's just like his dad was. Yeah. He's quiet. I get along with all these quiet guys. You know why? Because I do all the talking. Once in a while, they get, okay, thank you, or something like that. They got a word in. Yeah, totally. We all know. Chatty Patty, we love you. Yeah. That's what it's about. That's fun. That's Mercury and Aries for you. Yeah. We're, so it seems like it's just, have we hit in surfing a plateau? I mean, we've got kiteboarding. Obviously, all the different types of boards have come around, from shortboard, single fin,
quads to now the paddle boarding. Now we've got our guys paddling at Jaws. Are we maxed out? Where do you see anything?
No, I mean, I think that the way the evolution's like a guy like Kai
Also,
Lenny
Kai's does it all. The hydrofoiling, you know. So, I mean,
Maui's always
what's
been
happening.
Maui. I mean, you love Maui. You've been there a long time. So my thoughts on Maui. I was supposed to move there back in '71. I just didn't get that far. I ended up sticking it out in Oahu because of school, and it just kind of worked out better for my style. I think at Sunset Beach, it was great back then. The traffic was zero. You could lay down in the summer in the middle of Cam Highway, and you might hear somebody honk the horn. You'd have to get up, and it was really cool back then.
Wow. Sign me up.
They still had tour buses and all that stuff, and Matsumoto's and Haleiwa, and there was no bypasses or anything. I mean, it was pretty organic. And there was local people. They didn't get run out of here because it got too expensive. We've lost all our locals.
Wow.
The people that I grew up with here, most of them are all gone. They're in Washington, or they might be in, say, Portland, Oregon, which is, they go and they get hotel jobs. Any place they can get work. And
they're going to Vegas. They just get.
There's really a lot in Vegas, tons, and there's a lot in. I would say a lot of them in North Carolina. I noticed.
And a lot of that, it's off topic of boards, but I mean, we've got our beautiful Hawaiians, and you've got Hawaiians that have, in their family, had lands for hundreds to thousands of years, and then thousands of years,
hundreds of years for sure.
Yeah, hundreds of years for sure. But how it worked out, and people don't realize they come here from the mainland, did well, prospering financially on the mainland with making a lot of money, and they come here and they build, and you had one Hawaiian maybe sell a plot that has a bunch of other Hawaiians around with their land, and then all of a sudden they build this gigantic house. Well, then that makes all the property taxes and everything go up.
Yeah, property taxes.
So that those around have to follow, and then it starts pushing them out. Next thing you know, they can't even afford the amount of property taxes. That's ridiculous. And so it's, when you come out here, what I've always loved about the Hawaiians is, you can walk into a bar, not that I drink, but you can be wearing an Aloha shirt, and they don't care if you got $4 in your pocket or $4 million in your pocket. It's like, what's here? What's in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've always loved about the Hawaiians. And so I just hope that, what's been done has been done, but the Hawaiians, I hope for them that there's a positive turnaround. And
it takes a good leader that can unify the Hawaiians. And I'm not a Hawaiian wannabe. I'm an official. What do they call that for OHA? It's like your Hanai brought in. I just voted because there's a couple really good leaders, but they don't all get along. And one of the things that helped a lot with the American Indians is they figured it out. The only way we're going to get anything out of white men is they got to have a team, and so they did. And you look at those. I have one for our tribe. I have a little bit, right, tiny little bit, and they have their own gambling casino, and everybody that goes to school gets $50,000 a year from their
you look at
Indian government.
You look at the Seminole. They got smart. The money they're making, they bought the Hard Rocks, and then other native. They're going and they're buying lands.
What is your tribe? What was yours again?
Eastern Band, Okonaluti, Northern Nation.
And that's
it's in the Appalachians.
Appalachians, right?
Yeah,
that's
Appalachia.
So cool.
And then they're buying lands where the money that they're making, and so what's awesome, they don't pay tax on it because they're Native American. Yeah. So they just keep buying and expanding themselves again.
The Hawaiians can do this. I like Clyde Clow a lot. He's been a friend, and the family's been a friend, and I'd love to see Clyde. He's active with the homeless, which is one of the things I'm going to try to do some stuff with him, but also we're doing some other stuff. We have a thing on Tuesdays that's really good, one day a week. I just feel like, I look around when I go to my gigs and stuff. I see where they sleep and stuff. One of my best joys is on New Year's is to go by Salvation Army over on North Beretania Street. Yeah. And there's like 25 people because it was raining. I just came up. I had all this water. I decided just water, a bunch of food and stuff. And the leader guy knows me because I've done it a couple times,
I've done a few
A little bit feels really good to me. That's all I want to say.
Well, you just count your blessings and those that are less
Everybody
fortunate.
Pitch in a little bit. Our state is just a target for all those Northeast, like Detroit. They give them free tickets to come here. And the thing is, we don't have enough money in the state to take care of our own.
Yeah. True, totally.
So, I mean, for them to come and basically they try to get
a lot of
job.
us are working like paycheck to paycheck, and like we got nothing at the end of the day, but just to get by. And so, you know, it makes it tough. So, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I can remember a few Easters where I got huge like honey baked hams and just went out in the parks and just like.
You don't even have to spend a lot of money. I mean, the water probably cost me $20 to get. I filled my car with it.
Yes,
and it was a thought that somebody even gave a shit.
It's nice,
you know?
like you give
Christmas
them these
Eve.
meals and they feel loved on a kind of quote unquote special holiday, you know.
And we're trying here. I think there's some good things to copy. The guy that I know, one of my friends in Portland, I do my CBD business. One of his best friends did a lot of the transformation in Portland, the city itself, for the homeless, and actually got them a building. They have their own newspaper that everybody loves to read. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they've given the homeless people dignity and actually a way to work, and it's been really successful. And we need something that we can pass through our government here again. So I'm going to whatever.
Yeah.
But if we can make it work, let's help our people, because we're a tourist state, and tourists don't want to come up and see somebody sleeping on the ground on Waikiki. I mean, they get swept up like dead cockroaches, but there's still shit happens. There's fights. There's all kinds of weird stuff that goes on. It's bad for our Hawaii to have our homeless not being taken care of.
Yeah, I agree. So on the board thing, do you see any place for it to go, or have we maxed out? Have we capped off and it's just all fun with what we have now? Or you envision something new?
Well, I think the biggest thing that came about, more so than boards and materials, because we've been doing the same thing since late mid-40s even, pretty much, is like Kelly's Pool. And I say Kelly's Pool because he did it right. He did everything that I thought.
It is amazing how that thing works and what it does.
So does that give it an opportunity? Probably. You know, it gives opportunity to maybe take it to the Olympics in a wave pool. I think that would make the sport, because people dig it. They're like, whoa, this is cool. Look what they're doing. You know, there's people in the Midwest who've never seen the ocean
wave
before.
Pools that, you know, kind of replicate other types of more challenging waves, you know?
Well, I think the technology, like Aki's thing, I think it looks like a big toilet plunger. But it's this good serve, you know. And
they've done, it looks like, from what I've seen on social media, they've done some, kind of tweaked it. And now it's really...
Yeah, I mean, I think as the market shows, like I found that things don't happen unless there's potential to make money, because that's our capitalist way of going.
Yeah.
You know, so I find a lot of people trying to, especially like my age and down to maybe your age or even a little younger, they all want to get healthier. So what do? Well, they talk to a guy like you and they get all the natural supplements that can do this and that for their stomach, or this and that for maybe they're a very anxious person. And I found that there's huge markets in that. And what does surfing do? It's the most relaxing sport in the world. I mean, swimming's really good.
It's healing. I mean, when you're in the ocean, people don't realize, like, if you look at water, not like if I had a glass of water as a substance, you look at it energetically, your water connects with the ocean's water and it kind of becomes one, and it helps dissipate negativity that builds up, you know. And then let's say you get the wave of your life, you're a great wave, and you get barreled, and you're actually, like, the stoke that you get, you're opening yourself up to that. That's a spiritual energy. Oh. It's coming in and it's filling you up.
Yeah, and I know spiritual is vertical energy.
You're releasing negativity and you're bringing in a joyful positivity. So, and then your environment is amazing.
Just watch anybody when they get out of their car, and they got their coffee and it's kind of crowded, and then you see them come back in about an hour and a half, and they've got some waves, and they're just like this. Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, I got a couple. You know, people.
Yeah.
The endorphins you get from surfing, just the spirituality of being in surf church. That's what I like to call surfing now. I never called it that when I was a kid, but I know just going out in the water on a bodyboard's fine for me. That's what I did, just to kick around. You know,
if I'm diving, I'm surfing, longboard, shortboard, I'm happy with it all.
Oh, you know? And so, you know, as those arenas evolve and get better, then there'll be more money. You know, we're just basically the mechanics on a racing car. You know, a foil board, I didn't get too into making foil boards, only because the board itself is really not that important. What's really important is the foil.
Yeah.
You do need to have a board.
So you're meaning just advancing the equipment that we have. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think foiling it's surfing for sure, and it could be stand-up paddle.
It's like underwater flying, dude. I don't know what you call it. Some of my friends.
I mean, I watch all Kai's videos and stuff, and you know, Maui's always been ahead of the curve. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Remember, I said I was going to
just how the elements work there, the winds and all that stuff. I think so.
It's the type of people
we don't
who go
have
there.
The surf that you guys are blessed with.
Maui.
So we make the most of it. What we do have.
Yeah, Maui and Kauai. I say those two. I mean, there's people everywhere, but Hawaii too. But a lot of those people in the '60s that were pretty good, they got the hell out of here. It was starting to get crowded. When I showed up, I was the second generation of the crowd. They were moving homes from Honolulu, and buying up shitty property from Hawaiians that couldn't pay for their farmlands, and they turned it into residential because we didn't have enough places. My first house, I had like 8 roommates, 8 people living in it was a 3-bedroom house. So it was 2 guys in the living room.
Surf house, yeah.
Yeah, well, they all were.
Yeah.
Except for the locals, and the locals didn't really dig that unless you were cool. They weren't real stoked that guys would be staying up all night on acid and drinking whatever they're drinking. I mean, that was like big time for that stuff,
Yeah.
And so there'd be stuff happening, but I felt like the North Shore was so tolerant of that, and we've evolved now to where people come here to surf and they know they need to treat our people with respect, and I like that.
Yeah.
And, I can tell, like, everybody I make a board for now, I'm just kind of a little bit on the high-end side and very custom, and I'll get a vibe off every customer I make a board for. And if I can tell they've only been surfing for, like, maybe 8 or 10 years and they don't really know Hawaii, I'll go, so are you sure you want to get a board like Tom Carroll? You weigh like 160 pounds. So you might want to get a board an inch wider and,
so on that note, how can our viewers and listeners find a board from you?
They just go. I mean, it's all Instagram now.
It's Instagram. You have a website with boards?
I have the website. We're remodeling that.
Is it Rawson?
It's Pat Rawson. Surfboards.com.
Pat Rawson Surfboards.com. Okay, I'll put that on the screen. And then
it's very outdated, but it's getting remodeled.
It works
next month or
it's getting remodeled. Okay, cool. And then your Instagram is Rawson Surfboards.
It's Rawson Surfboard.
Rawson Surfboard.
You can only put so many characters.
Oh yeah, so many to get in there. Okay, cool. So I got something fun for you, Pat. Me and Pat are both with my work with astrology. And I want to give all my clients credit. And then I've also, over the past, 25 plus years, just followed what you call an ephemeris, which shows what's going on in the heavens. And it's allowed me to connect where people's birth chart, you can read. I can read a person just in 5 seconds, tell them everything about them through where your sun was, your moon, which is your emotions, Venus, which is your heart, the type of person you're seeking love, Mercury is your mind. Each planet has its own personality, just like all your birth signs, like when you're born, your sun month, whether you're Capricorn, Leo, Cancer, blah, blah, blah. And we can go back and forth all day talking astrology. But on that note, kind of looking at it like the foam, let's say that was conceivement, and here we are, we're in the birthing room, all right? So if we had a board and it's going to come out as a Leo, what board would that be? Like what astrology sign would you connect to each type of board? Like when we were speaking earlier, I said an Aries would be Dawn Patrol. But what kind of board would that be from one of the most renowned shapers there is?
Well, I've never really tried to correlate that. That's interesting. I mean, I can remember
like a Taurus,
specific events.
Well, like a Taurus to me would either be a gun, like ready for Jaws, or like an epic longboard with a defend.
I mean, if you want to take shapers and all, I won't mention names as much as signs. Like I am a Taurus.
If a board came out of the birthing room, what personality equating astrological sign, like would that board, like a twin fin, what sign would that relate to you as a shaper?
When did it start? You have to go back to the birth of that design. Right?
Totally.
So where did it start?
But
that's the hard part.
Let's just say a sun sign, like a Capricorn. I would say that board's meant for the barrel. A Leo, I would give that royalty, so I would give it that.
That's a red board and flashy.
See, a red board or flashy. The Alaya, Alaya, is that how they pronounce it? Yeah. The Hawaiian board.
I'd say a Leo surfboard would be one that's pretty flashy, that gets out there and does all the stuff that the cameras want to see.
Yeah.
It's the sun, right?
Yeah. And then a Scorpio would probably be a board that's just
blackboard
all over the place.
Maybe just mega big waves.
Yeah. Just someone getting on something that Matt Maiola would ride and lawn chairs and send it,
That's why black's so popular. Everybody's got black rails now. It cracks me up.
Do they?
I think so, yeah. I mean, in California, I've had so many, when I was there with Chris Christensen, I was like, dude, how many black rails? It's just about every one.
Yeah.
And it's a shitty color because it gets really hot. And the color now, we don't have the same colors we did in the 70s when airbrushing kind of became popular. So what happens is the resin will crystallize unless you paint it. You actually literally have to paint the board. Or you'll see these little spiderweb things all over. Blacks are really, and red, really tough colors. But that Scorpio board would be a dark board.
This would be a dark board.
Darth Vader, like it's just sitting on the car and people are going, whoa, what's that?
So now you understand where I'm coming from. So so we've gone over Aries. That would be your Domitrol board. But what, any shapes come to mind as an Aries? Because you're an Aries.
No, I've just never done this before. I mean, it's good. You're getting
it's fun. I got the Aries.
My brain's going.
Totally.
My little Mercury and Aries is trying to think right now. I mean, an Aries board's a
Aries
Dawn Patrol, jump the gun kind of guy. Probably catches
fire. The board's probably red. Yeah,
could be. Yeah. I think the Leo. I always see yellow and red. Ryan's Leo. He was always yellow deck, red bottom. That was his flagship colors.
Yeah, and then what? Like a single fin and a twin fin. Which signs would you equate?
I don't know. I always think when I think of single fins, like when I really like to think of single fins of somebody like Jerry Lopez, who's a Scorpio.
Yeah,
and Jerry, he's
Scorpio?
He's very stealthy, and his boards are pretty like the camo thing. I was with him when we did the grubby thing, Gordon. I actually went to work and talk to the people at a company he's affiliated with, and his shaping room's right there, so it was great. I hadn't seen him in really a long time.
Yeah, I haven't.
I've seen him at trade shows, so we do not just to hang out all day, and he's just in a good place. I like where he's at his age. I won't say how old he is, but he's older than people think, and he's just super zen.
He's loving
still making beautiful boards.
Yeah,
Bend, Oregon, and also Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm
more in Mexico.
I'm really close to his brother. Well, I'm really friends with his brother Victor, but I'm really close with Victor's son, Jerry's nephew Sean. And Sean,
Victor was like heavy equipment or something. I haven't seen that guy in 20 years, but Victor was cool. He's a nice guy. He kind of runs his show over there.
He's epic.
He runs his show over there.
I won't give his age, but it doesn't matter. He's up there, and he's still pulling the barrels, towing in. He's amazing.
Yeah, I heard he's a good surfer still.
I did a killer snowboard trip with Sean and the Walsh twins. Ian was there, but he was busy doing some work stuff. And out west in Wyoming, we had a good time. So it was great, And so a Virgo board, what would that be? That could be a twin fin.
Virgo. So I always think of Virgo as green, tree-hugging people and love animals and super good artists and stuff. So that would be a really precise board. See, the designs I can't get, but I get the colors. Notice I'm getting the colors, but not the board. I don't know.
I look at a Pisces board, so Pisces is highly creative, spiritual. So I almost think that would be kind of a retro board.
Yeah, I think when you said Pisces, I got the magenta and yellow twin fin with Mark Richards because he's Pisces.
Great.
And it's a fish. And what is a Pisces? Is the two fishes. So it's like this Mark is a classic Pisces. He's super intelligent.
And then a Libra board would be like the after work special. Someone who worked hard, but now they got to go get it out.
Balance, easy to look at. Just a board that does everything really good. That's a Libra board to me.
I'm with you on that one. And Aquarius, I think the most widely known Aquarian out there in the surfing world is Kelly.
Yeah.
And so
could be
Mr.
anything
Slater's
Kelly.
Innovative. Look at his boards, and it could be any. The wave pool and the boards he's
one thing
and
I found, and I know Kelly not really, really well, but we've been friends. I got pictures when he was like 14. His older brother and I were good friends.
Sean's hilarious.
So
he's fun.
They're all good. Stephen too.
I haven't met Stephen.
And I have this thing of my shaping room in '84, which became Ken Bradshaw's shaping room in their house. But back then, before I built this room, and I was just building the house here on this property. And so he was over there, big eyes, and I was making a board of all people, Clyde Eichel. Like I said, we have this great history, and I love Clyde. He's just full of energy, and he's all about helping others. He's about helping the Hawaiians. He's about helping homeless. So we have this big 12-foot pointy gun, and Bernie Baker happened to be coming over for something, and Kelly and Sean were there, and he goes, we got to get a picture, because Bernie's got all my good old pictures that I got to tap into someday. Yeah. So there's like me and Kelly, and we're like, this board's between us, and he's looking up with these big eyes. But I'll tell you what, that kid, he can do a lot of stuff. I found Aquariuses are very, very good at a lot
They're
of
innovative.
things.
Yeah.
They're not too hung up on their beliefs of one thing. Like somebody just told me, I did a podcast with Scott Bass because I'm going to be featured the next boardroom. I'm the guy for 2020. Last year, it was Wayne Lynch and a bunch of guys. I guess it was my turn, right? I didn't want to do it before any of the other Hawaiians that I respect. So we got Jerry Lopez and Ben Ipa and I'm not sure and Dick Brewer, and I won the Dick Brewer one, so that was like
I remember that.
That was a big deal. Great. I had to win that one. Any of the other ones, I'm not a very fast shaper, so I don't have much of a chance.
So we've I think we got to cover Cancer, Sagittarius.
Did you say Cancer?
No, I didn't say Cancer.
What would a Cancer be?
What would a Cancer? I look at him as happy,
as a crab,
emotional
crab.
Yeah, intuitive type board, mothering board, just I guess a board that you love. You know what I mean?
I never thought I'd be doing this with Spice on this thing. I love it.
Yeah,
unless if you guys, any of you out there are astrologers or love astrology like I do, or
Spice comment below, fill us in what your thoughts are. Any surfers out there, if it resonates with you, I'm just kind of thinking, out of the birth canal of the shaping room, like, you know. Well, because when they picked medicines, like for those who don't know, I'm a medicine man, and back in the day, there were, there's techniques. Certain cultures will pick with one hand if they're going to pick for a female, pick with another if they're going to pick for a male. Some were picked under Mercury. Some were picked under certain moons. Some were picked certain times, that represented certain planets, and they considered that specific plant resonates with the planet. There's some history with that with the medicines that are out there. So I just figured, hey man, it's kind of fun to figure out boards. Sagittarius, that's the party board.
That's the hunter. That's the true blue.
Well, that's the holiday party board. That's the
Jupiter model, man.
Yeah,
what's a Jupiter model?
What would that be?
Matt Biola's had. Do you remember the first Lost logos? They had a little Jupiter thing. It said Lost. I think that Jupiter was kind of. I always loved that logo. I don't think they use it anymore.
I think that's just an all-around fun board. A fun board.
Yeah, it could be a fun board.
Yeah, all-around fun board. And then we left out. Who else did I leave out?
I think that's all.
We covered them all.
Pisces.
I did all the earth signs and air signs. Oh, the Gemini. I'm going to forget the Gemini board. Wow.
The twin fin.
The twin.
Or fish.
Yeah, the fish. Like, that couldn't have been any better.
Well, I've never done that. So there you go. I mean, it's like, usually I kind of have an answer for astrology. If I don't know, I get intuition and it helps me.
Yeah.
You know that. We've talked about a lot of stuff. And I don't push it on anybody. I get more people that I'm helping. They're trying to do something. They don't know where to go. And they talk. And I always bring astrology in like you, because if I know their time of birth, forget it's all over. I know a lot about, and I can do all that in my head. I don't have to go on my phone. With the moon, I have to go on the phone because it's just all computer, to look up. At that particular time, the moon was in this sign, and so therefore that's that. When you have those three things, you can get a lot of, without even.
You have to look at the entire equation of a person. Like so guys, basically when you're spit into the world, if you look at the heavens where each planet was, it's kind of like, I call it energetic chemistry. So if you're a bartender and you're out and you're making a cocktail and you're a little this, little that, little that, little this, that's the person when they come out. And there's other varying.
All Neptunians, bartenders. Neptune rules fluids and all that, poisons and all. I mean, there you go.
Other varying factors, but you have to equate what birth sign was in where that planet was, what planet the birth sign that planet was in. And then you take all of them.
How do you look that up? You just Google that stuff?
I can show you on the phone. There's ephemeris. So ephemeris, guys, is basically, you'll have, so if you've ever seen the symbol of your birth sign, like a Capricorn, a Leo, an Aquarius, and then each planet has a sign. So it's like you infuse those two together,
It's always
cool. And then it's just a combinations of energy that makes the amazing you, but then there's part of the spiritual body that equates to it as well. So yeah, I thought it would be fun.
So this is what he's talking about.
It looks like a bunch of numbers, but a lot of times too they'll have the signs, the planets and your birth signs next to it. It makes it, for myself, explainable for what's going on in the equation.
People. I mean, I don't understand why more psychiatrists, in my opinion, I don't want to say anything again political, but that's more in the medication world, whereas I don't want any medications with people I'm helping because of the side effects.
My medications are in the mountains. So.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean. If you're trying to help somebody,
on the
like
land and all that,
you know
yeah.
about things. I like simple things like vetiver. I like CBD for certain things. If people have anxiety or they have a lot of pain, CBD can help. And we just do the
CBD,
we do the
yeah, I
capsules.
mean, like,
you know, they're
you
really
know,
good.
I've worked with over 11,000 plants.
no, you're like-
CBD, personally, I think CBD needs the THC for the medicinal factor, but it should
Right.
be taken in cold extract form,
Right.
rather than smoking it, or I don't know why when they cook it
I mean,
down
like a
and butter it.
sublingual kind of thing.
Yeah, just an extract.
I mean, the gummies.
Even tea.
The gummies were a good idea. I don't sell any of that
Yeah.
stuff. I just like
But-
the caps because they're time released and they're made in a white lab. It's really a clean. It's the best company in the world. So
Yeah.
I feel confident. I got like over 200 and something people like going, shoot, I sleep better. My wife says I'm easier.
Awesome.
I'm just going by what they tell me. I can't.
Yeah,
you know.
so CBD, or basically hemp, weed, whatever you call it, it's a nervine, meaning around your nerves you have
Right.
what's the medical field calls a myelin sheath, but really it's calciums, and you've got to feed your nerves. It's the most important organ in the body. And so I can go in the mountains and show you 20 different things that'll work, if not equivalent to, better than. But everyone can equate to CBD or marijuana, THC, because it's just been blasted on all media since like the 40s.
Yeah.
And it was in all pharmacies before. You know, and
I
then
just
it
know
was-
the Israelis did a lot in like
Yeah.
91, 92. They're the ones that went, whoa, and figured out homeostasis.
It's a nervine, and it has other awesome properties too. It's antiviral.
Well, I think the thing, like everybody's got billions, not millions, of CBD receptors. So those receptors can be stimulated by taking CBD. Like
Yeah.
I'm not on the THC part, but I mean,
Yeah.
if you got anxiety, I mean, honestly, medical, you just get one of those little dosage pens, some sativa or whatever, or people that have ADHD like I do.
Yeah.
I'm not a big smoker, but occasionally when I'm whacked out, I have that little pen. It's just a dosage pen. I don't get that much. It's just nothing, but it just puts everything back on its track, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what's up with that? Why does that do that? I don't know. You do.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
I know.
I'll do a show.
This is
at some
about health
point.
and stuff, and
Yeah.
surfboards too. I don't want to get too far off because I'm a surfboard maker, not a doctor. Like this is a real doctor that I respect.
Not a doctor. I'm more I'm a little medicine man. You know.
Well, I love what you do.
Yeah.
What you do with medicine, I try to do with boards because you asked me where it was going. I'm going to bring it back home for us.
Yeah.
I think that surfing evolves around people, not the other way around. And people's brains are changing. I think we kind of took a downturn in surfing. I know in Japan there's less of the younger kids that were surfing than when I was going there making boards. They got into games. They got into virtual reality. There's going to be all that stuff to keep people out of the water. But equally, I think there's a lot of good kids, the millennial kids, and maybe just after that, people that are about 31 or down now to maybe age 20, well, till millennial age. And those people are that group, I think, is what's going to save our world.
Yeah.
You got Neptune and you got Uranus, and they're conjunct. No matter where it is on the wheel and that person's astrological start, I think that group, that's the generation.
Well, it's slow. It's happening. Like, consciousness is slowly starting to be more prevalent. You know, with what I do, like the term organic we were talking about earlier. Like, I grew up farming, fishing, the family hunted.
Everything
was
organic.
Everything was natural, and like when organic came, we were like, what? And that's what it already was. I didn't understand it that they're pumping chemicals in and stuff. And you know, God bless everyone.
You were lucky you had your
culture. And you know, God bless everyone on Kauai and Molokai and other islands. In Maui, we had you know, the big demon corporations pumping bad stuff in our soil. So you know, but it's like now. And I consider surfing just that as a lifestyle, helping you clear your spirit body, because that's where it's going to be changed. We can all talk about it, but being it's a whole other ballgame, you know? And so always cleansing and taking care of your body mentally, physically, and spiritually. That's number one. But, you know, recycling's come about, and it's people are getting more conscious. Like I'm here with my friend Jerry that I wanted to introduce you to. And so we went out to eat last night, and he brings his own silverware, which saves water from getting washed. They bring these Tupperware things, and so they're not getting to-go boxes, you know, so that it's just one little less footprint
Yeah,
in
everybody
the world.
can.
And
Everybody can
it's
do a little
slowly
bit to
happening,
help.
you know? Yeah, everyone has to do their part.
This is what I've said, even talking to Clyde last week, because he called me for something else. And I said, you know, the problem that we have in our world is we don't realize how powerful we're just the regular guys.
Yeah.
What class? Who gives a shit? One guy pushing a car, he's sweating, he's getting to the gas station, and a Volkswagen van pulls up behind him, and 12 surfers or 8 surfers get out and go, come on. And they all push. The guy that was just dying has just got one finger on the steering wheel. It's the power of numbers.
Yeah.
And once the Hawaiians get to that, and once the Americans, once the Chinese, they're already doing it in China, and that's their biggest fear. Is as soon as people realize that they're the power and not the governments, I mean, as long as it's peaceful.
It's peaceful, and
that's a key word. Now, there could be such mass
at some point surrender. Yeah, I agree with you. And on the subject of, like, you look at the Earth, it's billions of years old, but just in the past 100 years, we've just puked on this place, and it's. I don't think that was the intention. I think, like, hey man, we invented a car. Oh, we can run it on gas, we can run it on oil, but you look at foreign countries. I've traveled the world. I've been a lot of places, and take for instance Polynesia. Take for instance Indonesia, Philippines. Like, they had an organic life. They would eat organically before Western influence. So they didn't have, like, potato chip bags. They ate, like, a coconut and wing it or burn it. But then cans and bottles and wrappers and all that stuff started making way into their world. And they were just used to the toss,
Well, maybe, like
I love Tahiti because, in Hawaii, you see a lot of beer bottles and cans around, and
it can be kind of trashy.
It can be, and people don't realize, like, they can magnify, especially in drier areas, west sides and south sides, where they can magnify the sun and they start fires.
Oh, for sure. Bottles
and in Tahiti, you don't see a lot of bottles because Hinano, basically, if you wanted to go buy a beer, if you wanted to go buy a beer, and you didn't bring your bottles back, you're paying not only your beer that you're about to drink, you're paying for your bottings. And so they don't want to buy bottles. So what do? They don't toss them out everywhere. They it's a really positive thing. And I wish that was a lot more micro to macro with every state and county and stuff like that. That it was managed that way. So that was a really cool thing for me.
The key of power of numbers, and I think that your show is really important.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, whether you got 3,000 people or 3 million or 30 million,
or 3.
The key is, like, all of us want to see some change somewhere. If you got kids, you might be concerned about having to be your kids being vaccinated when your kid can't be because he's got some kind of disorder. In California, they just passed a law. One of my friends is going through it now, and I told her, I said, you know what, you just stand up for yourself. Don't back down. Go with an attorney and say, we're going to see them.
Yeah.
To keep their kid out of school because he can't have the inoculation, and they're not making any exceptions. So that type of government, I think, is kind of on its way out. You got Pluto and Capricorn too. Yeah. It's just like we're going in, we're getting into there. The age of Aquarius is coming, but it takes a long time. The shadow, as you know, can take couple hundred years.
Yeah, but you see it. So, guys, what we're talking on astrology, he's kind of speaking on the energy of things. So let's look at Pisces. Okay, we came out of the age of Taurus. Taurus are known, they're the lower vibrating of the earth signs. Doesn't mean they're lower vibrating like bad, energetically. So that's when all the big known structures that are still here.
Took thousands of people to build them.
Were there during the Taurian age, right?
And they're still there.
And then the Pisces age, there's one person that everybody knows around the world, even if you're not Christian, is Christ. So Jesus Christ, he changed time, dude. That's huge. Mm-hmm. Like, for someone to change time, that's pretty mind-blowing. So that whole era for 2,000 years, up to 2000 that just happened 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago now, age of Pisces, that's when music happened. We got an epic musician here. Art happens. We've got a shaper here. Creativity kind of exploded, and literatures and things like that. And so now we're going into the age of Aquarian, and you got to look at it. We're only 20 years deep, and we've got solar panels right now. We've got.
Just getting started.
I've seen, like, we're calling Brazil third world, and dude, I was there. They're running cars off of fruit.
Oh, for sure.
Fruit.
Third world is just
fruit. The shit that falls on the ground everywhere.
It's a state of mind.
I was in Peru, and we went from Chicama all the way south, and we were in a car that ran on compressed air.
Yeah.
You know, and then we've got they're building like blocks for houses out of compressed weed.
Yeah.
Out of hemp.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening,
That's
guys. So that, and then recycling came about, like natural power. So that is the age of Aquarian, and as we progress into the age of Capricorn, that's all going to be outdated. It's going to be like, Pat, what are you doing? We're not going to need cell phones. We're going to be like, bro, what's up? Can I come over? Need a board?
We got the Apple Watch. You know, imagine in 10 years.
And we'll be more into Earth. Like, we'll really love this place.
Yeah. I think technology will continue to march.
Yeah.
You know, with 3D printing, you'll be able to order, like, my heart's bad, and I'm like 77 years old, let's say, and I can order a new one, and I think I want blue this time. And you're going to get a heart that has 100% match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's your age of Aquarius.
Highly possible. Yeah, totally.
I think we should all be optimistic.
Totally, I agree with you 100%.
We should be optimistic, but we should also be a little bit watchful, because it's who's running the show that's always a little bit of a question.
I think, and I was talking to my buddy last night, the only thing that we really need to focus on, because it's cool to have toys and invention. Obviously, we're filming this off of technology. We're speaking to this on technology. We're sitting here with technology. Is where can it go after its lifespan? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think before anything now, whether it's a computer, anything, like, instead of it just being junk, how can it be broken down to be reutilized again?
Yeah.
That's the key factor.
The old utilitarian age, what do we call it?
Because I think that's how the Hawaiians thought.
Right.
The Hawaiians, they're looking, like, when you always hear Hawaiian, they're speaking 7 generations, meaning their actions, what is it going to do to affect the next 7 generations, like coming? And so they want to know, is their impact going to be positive or negative on their actions for what they do with their land or with their ocean?
Right.
And so I think that they need to incorporate the Hawaiian mentality on everything that we do.
Well,
and bring into the world.
All you Hawaiians out there, man, I'll tell you what, I urge you.
We love you.
We want you to get
Step
together.
up, keep doing what
Mauna
you're doing.
Kea, show your face, man. I mean, it's the first battleground that I feel that the Hawaiian has a chance. It's the first time that politics and politicians are
They're getting shut down.
It's so ugly. I'm not going to mention his name, but it was so ugly what happened that I'm appalled. And I've lived here almost 50 years.
It also, because of the Hawaiians and they're stepping up to this, that is wrong. It's letting them know that it needs to be for the people, by the people.
Yeah, that's how the
and
whole
for
United
those
States
who
started,
are governing, they need to govern not only the people and make their people happy that's under them, but they need to govern the lands and the seas and the waters and all that. Everything needs to be done and loved.
The problem is just getting everybody to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And it is
hard.
The
problem is this.
Amongst the Hawaiians, like, it's just like back in the good old days when the Clampetts hated these guys. There's a lot of energy that isn't really all funneled into one place. And I think that, I'm not sure who that guy could be. Maybe Uncle Clark could be that guy.
Getting clear, getting conscious, getting Pono, everybody, so that they are on the same page. And then the proper decisions will just not even have to be made. I think it'll just unfold, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll go really good. Once the brakes release, it always takes a leader, and it takes the right kind of leader that can see the other side of the coin. Because we have to look at University of Hawaii, who's very much pushing for Mauna Kea, because they're all about that.
Yeah.
That's how they work. That's how they get their grants. And it's like, I understand that. I'm not saying that we want technology, but let's not take a sacred place to do it, okay?
I mean, there's already 13 telescopes. If they can't figure out, space from that, or combine a few or something, then...
Well, yeah, there you go. That's what's my question. I go, why can't we just use, like, those old telescopes that were made in the 40s? Why can't those be torn down and put the new one?
Yeah.
Fine. And why do we have to keep acquiring Hawaiian lands at the expense of, well, we'll just put one more. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and if you also look, I looked up, if you Wikipedia TMT, it's a cockfight. It's a sword fight. It's who's got a bigger schlong. Because you'll read, this company came in after this guy, and I'm not going to say names. You can read yourself. They built a bigger telescope after he just built one. And so it's like, it literally basically states he comes in going, what? Like, So it was an ego thing. He wants a bigger telescope. So it's just like, what do we just keep building bigger and bigger? And we can yell technology.
I think they're really important, though. You know, the thing is,
it is cool that, you know, we can look into space and all that, but where that money needs to go, those billions of dollars, it needs to go right here into these islands. It needs to go right here on this planet.
I'm talking about the homeless, man. Because I'm talking about the Hawaiians, the people that don't have.
Can you surf on Mars? Can you surf on Pluto? No, dude. Not. Earth is rad. We got mountains, guys. We have mountains right here that'll blow your mind. If you're not here in Hawaii, you got rainbows. We have mystical rains. We got whales jumping. We've got mountains covered in snow that you can snowboard. Beautiful rivers and lakes for fishing and oceans. Like, we are so blessed. Flowers everywhere.
It's pretty bitchin'.
Like, I don't give a shit about, you know, and I don't even, you know, I said shit on here, but like, I don't give a shit about space. I don't give a shit about Mars. All that. I care about Earth. Earth is rad. We are so blessed. And it's almost like certain people are getting bored of it.
You're just a really grounded Capricorn. You see that side.
Well, Capricorn, Earth is like, I can go sleep in a cave. I'm happy. You know, I'm home. Capricorn, Earth, planet Earth is the most sacred. Like,
see this guy hug a tree, man. Yeah.
No, very gently. Very gently. I love it.
That's good. Ground you.
But yeah, like, the whole TMT thing, like, I understand it's a hobby. It's a passion. It's like all of us who are watching, we love surfing.
Yeah.
Okay? And you got people who love looking through telescopes and tripping out on what's out there in space, you know? But you have to look at, that's certain, and I want to claim them as geeks, because they're not. It's like, it's technology, and you've got people that want to just utilize those technologies to see into space. And that's cool. But in order to do it, they're having to disrupt a culture. They're having to disrupt a sacred ground, sacred lands. And what's more important? The Hawaiian people, obviously, I think should come first in their decision of it all. But it's just Earth. It's like, you know, before we go start trying to explore more, we need to realize where we're at and what we're doing to it.
Well, I think there's people that fully believe, I don't want to mention names, that fully believe we need to develop Mars right now and get over there, because this place is going to be gone, and it's like the mentality is so wrong. Yeah,
that's the wrong mentality.
It's like, oh, I'm going to go break my board right now, instead of going, well, I'm going to go surf. I hope I don't break my board.
I live
take care
in these mountains on Maui. I don't say where. I try and hold everything sacred since everything's blown apart on social media now. But like, I lived 100% sustainable, okay? Meaning, I caught my rainwater, I drank my rainwater, I showered my rainwater, I was perfuming, I picked all my medicines and I grew my medicines, I had every fruit tree in the world there, and then...
That's your old house, right?
Yeah, my old shack in the mountains, and then I bow hunted wild boar off my front porch, and then what I would do is I would recycle my bottles and my cans and my plastics, and I would buy seeds, and so I would dig these trenches that were about 2-3 feet deep. And then I had this bucket system where, you know, you go do your business, go to the bathroom, and in this, it was like an outhouse kind of thing. And then, so you do your business in there, and then I had plant matter that was worthless after that I would throw on from perfuming and distilling essential oils. Oh my God, that's a list. No, ones that, for oils, you know, pure essential oils.
So it would make it so you wouldn't be smelling like
shit over Well, not only that, but like when you get the oils out of the plants from distillation, you've got biomatter, which is just basically plants with no oil. So the medicinal property's gone, the scent's gone from the plant. So they're basically, you use them to break them down. So then I'd fill up the buckets with plants and poo, basically. And then we put it out in the sun in this certain situation. And in like 3-4 days, it was jet black soil. And so then I filled that up 3 feet high off the ground. So I've got 6 feet of pure soil, natural. And then I would recycle my cans and bottles and get my money, and I bought seeds with it. And so that was my garden.
Cool.
So and then I would go down and shoot fish and come up. So I lived 100%.
That's something I wish I could do.
I lived by candlelight, guys, for 23 years. And the last 2 years I built a little solar panel setup and wind turbines, and I could like plug my phone in a laptop and all. But like when you come home and it's just candles, bro, it's a vacay. It's great, you know. So
it's hard to say if we're going to go back to that, but that's cool that you did do that.
But I can, you know,
not many
but it's the norm for me. I actually love that lifestyle. But you know, it's everyone doing their part. And like, say you're a meat eater, or fishing and you like spearfishing, maybe lighten up on just one day a week or a few days a week, and put more energy into growing your foods, even if it's just a few more, and then obviously we need to get more conscious by getting clear, getting conscious with ourselves, and then everything else will unfold with taking care of this beautiful place that we live. This amazing place that we live.
Well, take care of our bodies first. Take care of our world.
Yeah,
that's first too.
Yeah,
you can't take care of your body if they just drop cyanide in the whole earth. We're all going to be gone in like 30 seconds or 10 seconds. You can
compare, like people come to me, I compare. There's nothing wrong with you. You're that identical to the earth. How the earth functions, you function. The earth breathes just like we do. So fall into winter is the breath in. Spring into summer is the breath out. She breathes just like we do. Her ocean, we have our ocean, we have our stomach. We've got rivers. I mean, like our bones can be equated to the lava. I mean, it's identical. And if there's like a log jam, same in your body. If you've got, a log jam in your blockages and stuff like that. So it's all the same. So yeah.
Well, taking care of your mind, like the thing that I would say too to people, and I'm finding people all around. When I play music, it gets me off the North Shore. I'm with a whole different group of people. So people are getting really spiritual.
It's happening. I'm seeing it.
I mean, I pray a lot. That's quote unquote my coping mechanism. So I got shit going on. We all have something, right?
Yeah.
And for me, praying just like resets the battery. Just like
beautiful.
Playing music, my mind shuts off because my mind's always going. I got Mercury and Aries, man. That's like 12-cylinder Jaguar engine going, yeah, and that's how I do my boards, and I can do my music with it. But when you play music, I can't be thinking about something else. I'm only concentrating on the drummer and the bass player and the guy on stage.
To stay in sync with all.
Yeah, and my brain goes in such a good place. So when I'm done with music, I feel so good. And surfing's the same way. There's some people probably take their worries out into the water. That's fine if that's what you like doing. But
just as long as they take them to the water and get them going.
But usually you forget about it. After you duck dive 3 waves and you're like, whoa, and the water revives you and stuff, you're thinking about your rent going, you don't even give a shit. You're out there surfing. And I think that's what we really want.
Yeah, it's happening.
And if I can be part of it, making surfboards, and let's evolve them as we can.
Doing your part. And
that's a blessed thing.
Yeah. So on that note, it's been epic, man. Thank you for colliding with me to finally make a show happen with you. I tried to get you to Maui so many times.
You're such a spiritual person. I am more attracted to spiritual people. I have a lot of surf people I love, and they're all good. I have a lot of musician friends that I love, and they're all good. But I really like the spiritual ones out of that each group. And you qualify, brother.
Thank you. It's been great, and thanks for basically being my family.
Another hug, man. I've learned a lot from this guy.
Being my family and the way you guys treated me since day one, and my boards. I've always loved my boards. And guys, if you could see this board right here, this is a Clark Little. Like,
I think this is the only one left.
This is gorgeous. There's a wave print. Maybe I'll put it in the video. And then it's Pat's magical shape with black rails and this beautiful photograph.
This thing's hand signed. He gave me this one. Amazing. I've got to repair it because it actually slipped off our wall and put a couple little snackles. And
so
we sold 20 of these things. I think this one, and there might be 4 more over in Real Water Sports.
Nice.
So we're saving those. We decided they're up on the wall. So everybody looks
step on in. So guys, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Spice. This was Talk Story with Spice with Mr. Pat Rawson, one of my favorites on the planet, as well as one of the best board shapers there ever's been. So if you love the show, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out him and his boards at www.rawsonsurfboards.com.
Yes.
And he's also
Pat Rawson Surfboards.
Pat Rawson Surfboards.
Or email.
.com. And then his Instagram is @rawsonsurfboard. And if you're stoked on the show, I always say there's a link below. You can donate, but I'd rather you donate to yourself and your health. Check out my website, islandspicehawaii.com. There are lots of herbal products that you can donate to your health. And as we spoke a lot of consciousness and making a difference, they'd help you out with that. So that's all, once again, islandspicehawaii.com. My world, everything is Island Spice Hawaii. My website, the show you're watching on YouTube, as well as my Instagram is @IslandSpiceHawaii, and my Facebook. So it's been real from the North Shore and the Rawson carving room.
Well, definitely another side to Pat that a lot of guys don't know. 'Cause we can actually talk about astrology, and he's much more advanced. But I have my way, and it's just there's some nice things involved in nature and surfing.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I appreciate.
I'm grateful. Surfing took me around the world. Surfing educated me that there's so much more out there. Surfing told me what wasn't right, that was wrong about what I think TV tries to tell us about other parts of the world. It's dangerous and people are poor and all this. Like, there's amazing, beautiful places out there. And I got to explore different medicines, and I got to hunt different places and spearfish and surf and spend time with villages and tribes. And
we both got to do that.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And so many other surfers have. And I accredit, your craft as blessing me in so many different ways that I could probably never express myself in 10 years of just sitting down writing a book about it. It's been
nice to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Have you hugged your shaper today? And that's what this is going to get titled.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because you guys bring a lot to us.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Lots of love, and stay magic, stay beautiful. I'll catch you next time. Okay? And
aloha.
Aloha. I'd like to give thanks and a huge shout out to Aribe Tea Company. Aribe Tea is an amazing all-natural tea company that uses organic and locally sourced ingredients from right here in the Hawaiian Islands. Both brewed and bottled in Hilo, Hawaii of the Big Island with lots of flavors to choose from, Aribe Tea can be found at Island Naturals, Down to Earth, Safeway, KTA, and Times Supermarket, as well as all 7-Eleven stores. Enjoy an Aribe tea today. And a special thanks to Our Mirror for their pure grade, high quality, handmade incense. Hands down, Our Mirror makes the absolute best incense available. Pure, clean, and balanced with infinite, heavenly, divine, exotic, and pleasantly beautiful scents and aromas to choose from. Be sure to check out their amazing all-natural hygiene products as well. Incense by Our Mirror is available at a health store near you or available online at ourmirror.com. As for my surf sponsors, Mahalo to Dakine for their awesome surf products, a trusted, loved, and recognized brand that originated right here in the Hawaiian Islands on the island of Maui in 1979. Dakine products are available at your local surf shop or their website, dakine.com. A definite thank you goes to Rawson Surfboards. Shaper Pat Rawson has been shaping surfboards since 1966, which includes shaping boards on surfing's most respected proving grounds, the North Shore of Oahu, since 1972. One of the most well-recognized Rawson surfboard moments is that iconic Tommy Carroll snap at the North Shore's infamous Bonsai Pipeline. Check out Rawson Surfboards at a surf shop near you or go to patrawsonsurfboards.com. And for my bow hunting sponsors, I'd like to thank ASAT Camouflage. ASAT stands for All Season, All Terrain. Be the tree or become the bush with ASAT's patented camo pattern that blends you into nature and masks you from the eyes of the game you're seeking to put on your dinner plate. Hands down, ASAT is the best functioning high-quality camouflage in the business. Get out in the field with your ASAT camo and see for yourself. Check them out at asatcamo.com. A big thank you to Cashtook Bowcraft for your handmade arrows. Cashtook Bowcraft makes not only handmade wooden arrows and bone broadheads, but also makes handcrafted self and longbows, bone knives, fire starters, muzzle loaders, and more. If you're a traditional bow hunter, wooden arrows is the only way to fly. Be sure to check out cashtookbowcraft.com. And now I'd like to reach out and thank my snowboarding sponsors, starting with D-Curve. Guys, D-Curve is a cutting-edge eyewear and lifestyle company pushing you to explore your boundaries and defy your limits. D-Curve uses the same patented technology that NASA uses in space to protect eyes from radiation that blocks out 100% UV rays and harmful blue light. D-Curve helmets, goggles, sunglasses, and more can be found at dcurve.com. Check them out. You'll be super stoked you did.
Yeah, I need to vent. Cool air for my brown skinned warriors. Stand fast and we'll be victorious. Stand proud in the songs we sing and the chants we chant, and they still be ignoring us. Put it down for the flag that was cut in half. We've been looking for that pussy in the mask. Listen to the ones that died. You hear their cries rolling in the graves that they lie. But we gotta stand strong. Tell me why the justice taking so long. Yeah, Kanaka. We ain't going nowhere till they right these wrongs. UH, Fake State, David E. Gay, DL, and you know who you are, the Hawaiian homestead. Why you more kolohe in the devil's bed? I said, ooh, yeah, it hurts, don't it? How would you be feeling if I didn't sugarcoat it? Somebody's gotta call you on your bullshit. Matter of fact, wait, man, everybody do it. We held the signs, we went worldwide. Take a half a second, man, and look with your eyes, it's insane. But it makes a little sense if you engage your brain, right? Wake up, not for it.